Alrighty. You gotta get up on that ledge.
Welcome back to Ledge Jumpers 64.
This isn't 64-bit, John.
Oh, it's so much more.
Actually, it probably is 64-bit.
And then some. I don't know.
It's 64-bit probably a game. Or 30. It might be 32, but...
I never really figured out how bits work.
Yeah. Most programs are either 32 or 64 nowadays.
Yeah, like my Elgato was a 64-bit program.
Yeah. But I mean, if you don't have an operating system that matches, which most people do nowadays anyway, it won't. You'll have issues.
Okay, I guess I'll go down here. Broken staircase and all. Oh, did not realize it was water down here. That's fine. Oh no. Oh, and you are very slow in water. By the way. Is that one thing like shooting letters at me?
Go, go, go. Run past him.
Oh,
oh
okay.
Boy.
My friend got here. Yeah, my big brother is here now. You guys are screwed. My big brother is so tough. He knows Taekwondo. Also, he's a giant dog.
Oh, come on. He's better than that. He knows at least, like, jujitsu or something.
Yeah.
Something that's a practical martial art.
Jiu-Jitsu's pretty awesome. Pets? No. Oh, the pets didn't work.
Okay.
Actually, they did, but I pressed the wrong button. No! No, Trico, remember the good times. Remember who you are. Which button is the pet?
Circle.
I need to get up and
Jump and press the circle button.
I need to boop the snoot. It's the only way.
I don't know if I told you this before, but did you know that the voice? There's some funny stories about the voice actors from Sly Cooper.
All I know is that I think Carmelita's voice actor changed in like
Every
every
single
game.
time, yeah. So funny thing is the voice of Sly was the person who did like the scratch track for it, and then they or that might have been actually Bentley, but it was one of the guys who was associated with the project to begin with, and they had a whole bunch of people trying it out, and then they're like, why don't you try this out? And they threw it in as a joke, and he kind of made it all the way to the end, and then he ended up having it. Yeah.
Cool.
Murray's is a bit more interesting. One of the things when they were voice testing for Murray was they had like a character sheet, with all his information, and they had that his sexuality was experimenting.
Okay.
So the voice actor tried to be like this big, flamboyant, gay purple hippo, and it like kind of stuck. And then it's sort of like, so for this game, that's why he's all like kind of like that.
I don't think of him as being flamboyant, but I could see how that might have kind of informed his voice.
They dropped it after the second game, and apparently he was experimenting in the first game.
Okay. To my knowledge, Murray never has any love interests in the game, except for food.
Mm-hmm. Well, that also kind of explains why whenever they're in disguises, he's always the woman.
Is he?
Yeah.
I don't remember his disguises.
Yeah, he's usually like a woman or something.
Okay, I remember...
I always thought it was funny just to have the big purple hippo as the woman.
Oh, no.
For whatever reason. But
he trapped.
His tail! Did it trap his tail?
Yeah, I think so. Well,
there's there's a thing to your left, I think.
Well, first I'm going to pull this because it's a lever and I want to... Oh, wait.
You're regretting that now, aren't you?
I had to try. Oh, no, there's so many. Never mind, I'll come back later. Oh,
get on him.
But it also released him.
Climb him. No, it didn't. He's still trapped.
Oh, because the thing's on his tail. Okay.
This is bad. He's not attacking.
Oh, that is bad.
Maybe he is.
Okay. Okay, so he can still fend for himself some. Maybe I'll let Big Bro fight some of these guys right now. And then I'll go see if there's a way. Oh, that one is still alive. Okay.
You can deal with 1, 2, right?
Yeah, I should be able to...
His ladder.
Yeah, they actually, like, trapped him. There's a griffin trap. I do remember hearing something like...
Get it.
That should be it. There we go. Hey, good boy.
There you go.
I remember hearing something that, like... Whichever game they're in Italy, I think it's in Sly 3.
Yeah?
Remember how Sly does that, like, awful Italian accent?
Yeah?
The like, alto, alto.
Yeah.
That, like, apparently the voice actor was, like, was like trying as hard as he could to do a good Italian accent.
Oh, God.
And, like, that was originally, like, him trying to play it straight, and everybody just, like, thought it was so bad that they made it, like, a character choice that Sly can't do accents.
Oh, that's funny.
Oh, right, I need to get him to chill out. Hey.
Is the Sly Cooper movie still happening?
Not last I heard.
It got canceled?
I don't actually know.
I just know the voice actor Sly isn't returning in that. But I know the voice actor also was like, you know what? I'm not like a big name voice actor. It's probably best that you have like this movie, like it's like a bigger thing and more people are gonna see. It's like, probably best if a professional does it instead of me.
That's fair.
Which is kind of cool. I mean, I would have been kind of upset. I would have been like,
I'd rather have... See, for me, like, video game movies just, like, don't work for me because I'd rather be playing a game. Like...
I remember watching, what was it, the Ratchet and Clank movie?
Yeah, the Ratchet and
was
Clank movie sucked.
That was interesting. The game... What's weird is it deviated from the game a lot. Like, I mean, like, the remake game that was made based on the movie.
Yeah, they like, made a game around the same time, which was, like, sort of a remake of Ratchet 1, right?
Yeah. But there were, like, weird things, like Quark not being a complete pansy, and just some weird stuff that was different.
Wait, are you just, like, a dude? No.
No,
okay.
He's gonna try and kill you.
He was just, like, standing there for so long, but I guess he didn't see me. This means I need to calm him down again. I felt like the movie... See, I haven't even played the Ratchet games. And people who have played them tell me that they weren't a good representation of the games. I just thought it wasn't very good. But I would think if you were...
very different.
I would think if you were making a... I can understand the plot being different because it's hard to make a video game plot work without changing it.
Like, for example, Professor Nefarious doesn't show up until the third game. That's what I mean by different.
Yeah.
Was Chairman Drek in the movie?
Yes, he was.
He was like the final boss and main antagonist of the first game, and like
he was still the final battle in the movie, I think.
They made him like he was very different. He was very serious in the game, and I think I liked what they did with him in the movie. Like he was more kind of like comedic.
Is it Professor Nefarious?
Dr.
Nefarious.
Is a great villain, by the way. I love Dr. Nefarious.
But he wasn't a robot in the movie, right?
No, but he was always a robot in the game.
I think that was like the stinger after the credits was they showed him like he had been defeated, but they showed him like as the robot now.
Yeah,
like,
which is the one that everyone knows. Yeah.
So like it was kind of like they wrote a new like backstory to him, I guess.
Well, his butler wasn't in it because like he had like this butler, and that was like a lot of the jokes were with the butler. Like, he was a robot, so he would, like, lock up, and it would play, like, this old, like, romance sitcom. That would, like, you just hear, like, music. Like, it's like, oh, no, Janice, I couldn't... Like, whenever you get really mad, he would just freeze, and that would start playing. Until his butler had to come over and, like, smack him in the face, and then he would just continue where he left off, like, midstream. I like... Dr. Nefarious is probably one of my favorite, like, villains in a game... Like, video game villains of all time. He's kooky, he's... interesting, and he's still evil, but I don't know. There's something about him.
I would think if you were making a Ratchet and Clank movie, you would want to focus on the relationship between Ratchet and Clank, and there was really none of that.
I mean, in the first game, it really wasn't. I mean, because like video games at that time and their story.
Yeah, but this is a movie.
Yeah.
And they like they like had them meeting for the first time be kind of like cute and the music swelled and stuff, but after that they just kind of they're not even next to each other for most of the movie.
Yeah, that was kind of weird. I mean, in the game there's a lot of parts where you're separated too. Well, no, wait. Yeah, in the game you're separated most of the time, right? I think in the game you're separated almost all the time until the very end, where you actually play as the two together.
Oh.
Yeah.
I know there's like Secret Agent Clank is a thing.
Which wasn't bad.
Is that a whole nother game, or is that...
Yes and no. There is a Secret Agent Clank game, but there's also Secret Agent Clank parts in, I think, Ratchet 3. Which Ratchet 3 was really good, by the way. I don't know, part of the fun was having, like, crazy... Like, having, like, all the crazy guns and, like...
Yeah, and that was the other problem. The movie, like, barely had the guns in it. They had, like...
They showed them all off at once, but didn't use any of them.
They had one scene where they showed all of them for, like, 2 seconds each, and then there was one battle where they used a bunch of them. Mm-hmm. But, like... I don't know.
Honestly, the remake didn't have that many guns. Like, I mean, compared to, like, Ratchet 3, which had, like, 30 or 40 different guns that were all upgradable and everything. Maybe it was only like 20 or 30, but...
I just think, like, even if they made a Sly Cooper movie and it was really good, it would be really hard for me not to feel like, oh, wow, I wish I was playing this.
Mm-hmm.
The whole point of Sly is that it's a game that, like, emulates a cartoon.
Yeah.
Like, making it into a cartoon almost, like, defeats the purpose.
Well, I feel like it would be cool... Well, they actually made Sly Cooper comics, which I thought was a really cool idea, because they wanted to promote that kind of idea.
Oh. We'd come so far together, and in doing so, we had developed a bond.
Social Link, go!
Yeah, I can feel that mutual bond right now while he eats barrels. Oh, issue command?
Move the boy.
Okay, so that's what the running is for.
That's really weird looking. Oh, because he's like running. It's like, go over here.
Yeah. Okay. So now I got him to stand here. Maybe now I can climb him?
I also feel like it would be weird if they made a Jack and Daxter movie. The big problem with video game movies, I feel like, is like you rarely get one that actually follows the game really well. They always make these drastic changes.
I can't think of one that I felt like was a really good representation of... I mean, there's like the Warcraft movie, which they tried so hard to make it like the lore of the games that like they spent the entire movie lore building and nothing really happened.
Or you could have like the Silent Hill movies, which are Silent Hill, especially the second one. They were like, that one was so weird because it was like simultaneously got all the details right, but got all the main things wrong.
Wait, which movie?
I forget the second Silent Hill movie. I think it was like Silent Hill Revelations.
And what game is that supposed
3.
to follow? 3.
It got like all these like tiny little details like spot on to the point where you see them and it's just, you know how like when you see something like Series of Fortune Events, how there's like a little thing, it's like, oh, they noticed that, and it like makes you feel all good. It had like a million of those in it, but like entire characters were completely different.
Huh.
Like this one character named Vincent, who's like this like absolutely like ridiculously creepy guy in the game. He's like freaking weird, like really creepy, really weird in the game.
Okay.
He was made into like a love interest.
Oh.
Yeah, it's like super drastic, and like the plot just is not the same. Like it's like it's just I just remember the ending of the game. It's just, like,
buddy.
Completely different from the movie. But it's weird how you can get, like, the plot be so bad it kills the whole movie, but, like, it has all these little nods that are, like, you know what I mean? That movie also has pacing issues, so.
I never had any interest in watching any Silent Hill movie.
We should do a let's watch.
Oh, let's watch. I don't know what the rights laws of that.
As long as you're not monetizing it, right?
I don't know. Some things, because if it's for a movie, people could watch that YouTube video instead of buying the movie.
But we'd be talking over it.
Yeah.
I know one guy wanted to, so he was trying to stream with Twitch you can't stream live events like UFC and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And one guy tried to get around it by he put an image of himself with a game controller just saying shit in the bottom right, and that was enough to get it so his stream didn't get taken down.
Nice.
And he was able to stream the entire event pretending he was playing a video
game.
No,
don't go down. Aw.
Oh, and this is where the game falls apart.
Perhaps. Yeah, I need to get him to do what I want him to do, which might be very hard.
I don't know. I feel like... I mean, wouldn't it constitute fair use because we're technically making a critique on it?
Yes, but so few companies even care about fair use anymore. Anyway, it's really skewed in favor of the rights holders.
Yeah. I mean, as long as you're not trying to monetize it, there shouldn't be an issue with it.
And I don't monetize my videos, but I've had a lot of my videos demonetized for no reason.
Because they have games in them, right?
Yeah.
If they have too much of a cutscene in them or something, probably did our whole playthrough of most of our games get demonetized or?
Yeah, if I were to go through my list of videos, at least 50% of them would be contains copyright material and I can't use it.
Mm.
Which is fine. Again, I'm not interested in monetizing Let's Plays. If I was doing an analysis I worked really hard on, maybe I would want to actually make money off of it, but... lost my train of thought, sorry. But I opened a door, so maybe it's good that I lost my train of thought.
But, copyrights and...
It sucks and is annoying. And, even people who... Oh, the one time that I got a video taken down off YouTube was... It was, episode 5, I think, of the first Sly Cooper game, and I had to re-upload it, which was a pain because I needed to, basically remake the video really quickly because I had already gotten rid of, my files for it.
Oh, okay.
But...
why did it get taken down?
Because at the end of it, I included a clip from the Yu-Gi-Oh! Anime because it was something that we had talked about.
Oh.
And I put it in as a stinger, but I guess that without any sound over it or anything was enough to get
It didn't have any
without us talking over it or any filters or anything was enough to spring something on. And it's not it got taken down right away. It got taken down months later. So that when I got the notice for it, I was like, "What are you even talking about?" And I had to figure out why it was.
Oh. That's funny.
Oh, I think this got us to the other side of the bridge. I think we were on that side before.
Yeah, copyright's kind of screwed up, I feel, nowadays.
And I mean, I do care about, protecting rights holders. I don't want people to get stuff taken from them. But no, we're on the completely other side of the... where we started. So, I did this the wrong way, but I kind of understand what I did now.
That's good.
So, that's something. That's the other thing, that, I don't try to make money off of my videos, because I feel like if I did, it would be so hard to do that it would just drive me crazy anyway.
Yeah.
And I mean, and I have a job, and what I do for my job is what I do for my job, and this is what I do to, enjoy myself and be happy.
Whoa.
Plus, then they put a bunch of ads on my videos, and I know ad blocker is a thing that people could get around it, but I'd rather just make sure that everybody could see my videos ad-free, because I don't think they're good enough to watch ads first.
Oh, I think they're good enough.
Ah, thanks.
I wouldn't, Well, the nice thing about ad blockers is I believe for the most part the ads still get counted as being played. Because what they usually do is they just send like the ad to a bit bucket. They just like note. It's like you get a lot of things that will know what the IP address is, like that these ads are coming from for the most part. And whenever it gets something from there, it'll just like whoop, send it right in.
Is that the sound it makes when it sends it in?
Yeah. Bitbucket is a technical term, by the way.
I love the technical terms you tell me.
Yeah, they're great, right?
Pat knows all these dumb technical terms now from studying.
They're freaking stupid.
IT.
And have you ever heard of a recursive acronym?
That's a acronym where like the name itself is in the acronym.
Have you ever actually seen a practical recursive acronym that exists?
I can't think of an example.
I have.
Is that like in IT all the time?
There's one that I know. There's one that's GNU.
Okay.
Which stands for GNU's not Unix.
Isn't there one called God? And it stands for like... No, I'm thinking of something different, I guess. No. Okay. Alright, we're fine.
There are a lot of fun terms. There's also a lot of, like, really BS terms. Like, what is it? I'm learning about something called Reliable Transport Protocol. But it can be both reliable and unreliable. And reliable and unreliable are also, like, technical, like, they're terms that mean specific things. It's not just a broad term. So it would almost be like
I'm actually
having...
limping from jumping down too far.
Wow. It would almost be like
Ouch.
having, like...
Okay, I'm better now.
Blue square as a term, but the square could be either blue or sometimes it's not blue. But it's still called the blue square.
But it's still called a blue square.
Yeah. Like, you get crap like that.
What was the thing with, was it, like, squiggly and not very squiggly? Or...
Oh, that! The stub networks.
I figured out what I'm supposed to do, by the way, I think.
Cool. So this probably I won't go over the, like, just what each of these mean, but basically the idea of a stub network is a network that only has one way out.
Okay.
So, like, most people's home networks are going to be stub networks.
Okay.
And we're going over this routing protocol, which is basically how routers talk to each other. Because once you get beyond, like, a stub network and, like, designing something that has more than one router, it actually starts getting really complicated. And you need all this extra stuff to actually make it work. It doesn't just, like, work. But there's stub networks within this routing protocol. And then there are there's something called a not-so-stubby network.
Okay.
And a not-so-stubby network is a network that's a stub, but, like, maybe it only has one way out, but maybe you have, like, this other link out that's, like, a pay-per-use, or it's, like, really slow, and, like, you generally don't or it's, like, not online all the time, and, like, used only for backup. So it's basically, like, it's a stub network, but technically there is still another way out. And then there's a totally stubby network, which is, like...
Yeah.
Nice. A totally stubby network is a stub network that's, like, designated so, like, routing protocols don't go past it. Like, they stop at the border. Because there's no point in pushing them out there. The border router will just push everything over. And then there's a totally stubby, not so stubby network, which is those two combined.
Which doesn't make actual sense, but I guess makes sense for, like, what you're...
And it's great because I'll pull up the router config and it shows, like, it'll show, like, the network types, and there's, like, stub, and then, like, I forget what the second one is, and then there's NSSA, which literally is not so stubby area. Like, it just abbreviated.
That's really dumb, and I really like it.
It's so stupid.
See, I like that kind of, like, when science and IT and stuff has names like that, because you know that it was
weird
some
stuff?
You know that it was some, like, a geeky guy or some guy with a weird sense of humor who was just really smart and decided, well, this is my thing, I'm gonna call it this.
You also get, like, I know if a lot of the security plugins, you get some weird stuff. Like, there was one, it was like a port scanner where you're using I think it was called... I forget what it was called. But it's like Icon was like an anime space girl. And it's just like, what?
And that's like the actual like...
Yeah, that's like the official Icon. And if you have that on there, that's like the icon on your desktop or whatever. It's like this anime space girl. But it's like a professional program. That like professionals use. It's just really weird.
Probably looks weird on like your like super business formal desktop at your important normal business, and then you have an anime girl on your...
the distro of Linux that's generally used for security stuff, Kali Linux, its default wallpaper is like this dragon. Like it's like a shape. It's not like an actual photorealistic. But
I'm starting to get the hang of this.
mm-hmm.
Whoa. It looks like I'm just squirming all around and dying, but I am getting the hang of this.
That's good. That is good. I like how your white cape isn't... Your white outfit is not perfectly white.
Yeah, was it always this dirty?
I think it was, for the most part.
That would be an insanely good touch if it got, like, more dirty over time. Like in the Batman Arkham games, Batman... At least in the first one, Batman takes, like, more wear and tear between... throughout the game, his Batsuit is more worn.
Oh, if you can get him to climb up, do that on the other side, you can jump on his head to the other way.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, Shadow of the Colossus did that.
Yeah, that's true. That makes me think more that this game would do it too, since it's their game.
Yip yap.
He's like, I'm sorry, I'm not.
Okay.
I don't get it.
Okay.
You guys, what do you mean hang?
I don't know. I think it
I
just
don't want
tells
to
you
hang. I
stuff.
want to jump. Oh,
Ooh.
that's gonna
Hurt in the morning.
hurt right now. That's brutal looking.
And then he'll just get over it in a couple seconds.
Yeah.
There you go.
Walk it off, son. Okay.
Maybe you can get on him and just have him prop up.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's what I gotta do. See, now that I can actually, like, tell him which direction to walk.
Mm-hmm.
It's
I feel like that's like a blessing and a curse, because now there's going to be more complicated stuff with that.
Yeah. That's how I felt with the first Metroid game, when you get the grapple beam, and you're like, oh great, now I can do grapple parts, which means now I have to do grapple parts.
I haven't played any of the Metroids.
I don't recommend the first one.
There's a lot of, like... As much as I like Metroidvanias, I have not played any Metroids nor any Castlevanias.
I'd say most of the indie games are actually better than anything Metroid-wise has made lately. I mean, Samus Returns was good, it was really good, but it's not even close to, like, any of the indie stuff.
I'm not usually into, like, the big space epic kind of theming, is the reason why I never was really into Metroid that much.
Well, Metroid isn't a space epic. It's actually really, like, small and quiet and isolated.
Yeah.
Like, it's just... Most of them, there aren't even any other characters besides Samus. It's just kind of like you on this alien world, and you're sent there to do a mission, and you do the mission, and then you go home.
Huh. And I know that's another reason why I wasn't that big on... Oh, there's your chance. Wasn't that big on Star Fox either.
Yeah, that's... Star Fox, in terms of story, is much more of a space opera.
Mm-hmm. I really liked...
Oh, jeez.
I finally got around to playing Dead Space 1 and 2, because Dead Space 3 doesn't actually exist.
Aren't 1 and 2 really different from each other, too?
Yeah. 2 is like...
2 is more actiony, right?
Yeah. Well, which sucks,
oh my god, there's a ladder here.
Which actually really sucks, because, like, I think 2 is a good game, so I'm gonna preface all this, like, semi-shit-talking with saying that I like the game a lot. I think that, like, I was never, ever afraid in Dead Space 2. Not because the design was bad. Like, there's actually some, like, really amazing horror design. Like, really well-designed enemies. Like, really well-designed level placement that really, like, is done really well from a horror perspective. The problem is I have this pulse rifle, and anytime something comes out, I'm just gonna blow the crap out of it. So I was never afraid the entire game because I'm just like, well, I have this freaking gun.
Works better as an action game, I guess.
Yeah, but like the thing is, if it was like I had like barely any ammo, because there's some limited ammo. But if it was like I didn't have like much of any ammo at all, or like it was slow and clunky, and you didn't have a literal pulse rifle.
Yeah.
Like I felt like that game would have been like real scary. Like there would have been parts in it that would have been because like there's these enemies that they're like some of the best enemies I've seen designed in a horror game. They're great.
The necromorphs, right?
Yeah, not specifically those, not specifically them as like a whole.
But just certain kinds of them.
As a whole, the whole shoot the limbs thing was pretty great. I liked that a lot. That was a cool gameplay mechanic. Especially because it's like counterintuitive of what you would think to do. You have to be slow and precise and shoot while they're running at you. Which,
if you're freaking out, then you're not going to be able to do it.
Yeah.
You're not thinking slow and precise.
But there's these enemies, I forget what they're called, but they show up in like a gank squad. There's always like 10 of them at once. And what they do is they run around a lot, very fast. They will run, and like they'll run when they're out of your vision. So when they're out of your line of sight, you'll hear them scamper around. And, like, you'll turn and just catch the tail of one running behind a thing.
Well, that's fun.
And, like, they are pretty... like, if I didn't have a gun, if it was, like, a melee game, I would be so scared. And then they, like, eventually they'll, like, jump over and, like, just rush you real fast. And there's always a ton of them. There's always, like, they're put in areas where there's stuff everywhere. It's, like, very good design. But then I blow the crap out of them with a pulse rifle, so... Oh!
That's not how I thought that was going to end.
Mm-mm.
Okay, well, thanks for joining us, guys. Next time, we'll play some more Last Guardian and talk some more about games.
Yeah.
Good games, bad games. I kind of like the Game Talk podcast.
Yeah, it's kind of cool. We play a neat game in the background, and then, just...
I feel like this kind of game lends itself to that a lot. Is we can do something slow paced.
I feel like I wish we did that more when we started Ico, because there were a lot of times in Ico that were sort of just not too much going on.
Yeah, let's just pretend that didn't happen. I'll see you next time.